Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Hilary, Ben and Lucy. It's a great honour and privilege to serve our members as President this year. Planning is a long and noble tradition in serving the public interest to make the world a better place, and I'm proud to represent it. I'd like to just take this opportunity to thank Phil for being such an excellent President. He's been a passionate advocate for planning. He's managed to combine the demanding roles of President with the Director of City Planning, and he's still had time to get back to his family in Cardiff. And I think that's been a fantastic achievement. I think we should just, once again, show our appreciation. This is a small gift, which would be great if you could step up on stage, which I'm sure is a record of his year as President. And I'm sure there's no comp on that. It's a photographic face, I think. Great civilisations are defined by their town planning. It's their physical legacy. Peoples have always had a desire to shape places and make them better. Our profession has origins in Sumerian, Greek and Roman civilization. And okay, whilst I accept that the Emperor Vespasian may not have had a statement of community involvement, but he cleared the houses of the proletariat to make way for the Colosseum. The Romans knew that building Rome was a complex and difficult process, although they knew that Rome would not be built in a day. Now, across the United Kingdom this year, we're fortunate to celebrate 70 years of a universal planning system, which even today retains many features which are the envy of the world. And I don't think there are too many people here who remember 1947. I think Ron was here. Anyway, but Britain in the 1940s was a traumatised country, with 30% of its housing stock unfit for habitation, and its industrial and employment base effectively destroyed. The post-war government understood that these issues had a spatial dimension, and there's a need to correct the economic and social imbalances experienced in the 1930s. There was a consensus that firm controls to redirect new investment were required, that alone housing and industrial policies could not present the answer. Planning was seen as a solution to the country's economic, social and environmental problems. The Act articulated a vision for the UK as Lewis Silkin, Minister of Housing and Local Government at the time, informed Parliament to ensure that all of the country was used in the best interests of the whole people. There was ambition in the Act, rooted in social justice, which still defines this profession's moral purpose. We are idealists, and we should make no excuses for that. My own authority, the Lee Valley Regional Park, was founded 50 years ago on Abercrombie's vision in the London Plan in the 1940s. Which was designed to regenerate the derelict areas of London, restore landscapes from gravel workings and the decaying glass houses of Essex and Hertfordshire. The Park Authority is still sustained by this vision to create a better place, a regional park, for what Abercrombie, rather bluntly, probably too bluntly, described as London's privy and backyard. And whilst discussing the Lee Valley, I'd just like to take this opportunity of thanking the leadership team, both officers and members, for their support last year to enable me to be Vice President, and hopefully that will continue this year as I serve as President. Now, the articulation of a vision links to the broader political process. We share a common language with politicians, and just like politics, planning is the art of the possible, because we deliver significant social change rooted in social justice. And this reflects the central importance of the profession, because we have enormous influence involving resource allocation, making decisions on land, where hospitals go, housing goes, employment, schools, and all the related infrastructure. Without planners and planning, the complexities of the whole development process will be reduced to a glorified game of rock, paper, scissors, with no one party having the advantage. But it's our job to make these decisions, to arbitrate, determine land uses, the master plan and to shape places to build a better world. And if it wasn't for us, who would do this? Alone amongst the professions involved in the development process, planning allows the public a voice in the future shape of their environment. All of you, as planners, are guardians of this process and contribute to the efficient working of the local democracy. No other profession has the right skill set to deliver the complexity of changes required. We're a dynamic profession. We respond to changes in legislation, and God hasn't been a lot of those recently. But these define our work and we define our work, and sometimes define it yet again. And across the UK, we now have a series of devolved and national planning systems which reflect the rich mosaic of our geographies and nationally determined priorities. Planning is therefore very much a creature of statute, but we should be no pet of government, and we need to continually challenge our governments as a critical friend, and sometimes more as a critic than a friend, to require an evidence base and clear rationale for policy changes. Now, so some of you here, we sit on the edge of your seats for the last 6 weeks waiting for the new housing white paper. And it's important that this delivers a balanced offer for housing in this country. Now, one of our most recent reports showed that constant changes in the planning system not always resulted in the delivery of more homes and infrastructure. And in contrast, our research shows that investing in planning and the planning system can provide clarity and confidence for new investment to get the right jobs in the right places, supported by homes. Now, it seems that no speech is complete these days without reference to Brexit. I'm afraid mine's an exception. The vote was an opportunity for the country to hold a mirror to itself. I'm afraid that on the 24th of June, the following day, the reflection that many of us saw wasn't one which we readily expected. And it's clear that there are large areas of the country which are being left behind the affluence of parts of London and the South East. And planners are sometimes the only profession working in these areas to create the right conditions for growth, stimulate markets, and secure the right infrastructure. So, for example, I applaud our work on the Northern Powerhouse, on the Great North Plan, to create a spatial framework to realise the potential for growth and well-being in the north. Now, this year I'm interested in visiting those areas of the country where planners are making the difference to deliver homes, jobs, and better life chances, essentially to build economically and socially inclusive places. Now, within the Institute, in Cardiff, Dublin, Edinburgh, London, Belfast, and throughout our English regions, we have a strong and capable group of officers focused on delivery to reflect your work in the public, private, and third sector. We have a strong policy team. We could say the beating heart or the intellectual heart of the profession, constantly lobbying for changes to draft bills and commissioning new research and studies into the importance and value of planning, which is central to our complex and diverse environment. The RTPI will continue to ensure that best practice is shared amongst members through its better planning programme and of course through our regional and national awards. My presidency will be overseeing considerable investment in a new customer relationship management system. Unfortunately, Phil Cluck's not here because he can explain that, which will provide a simpler and more effective way of serving our membership and link through to our new routes to membership. We are a progressive discipline, and we will continue to promote, and I will continue to promote, our membership for all. Our work reflects the diversity of need in the communities we serve, and we must achieve a balanced membership who feel supported in their work. So I was particularly pleased last year over the launch of Planning Out. A strong volunteer base is the bedrock of our membership, often giving a lot of their time and resource to organise a programme of regional events. This strong base nurtures the development of our extensive network of young planners who are a driving force for change and thinking. And I'm only here today because of the support I got back from the London region. Our international work goes from strength to strength, with planning now threaded throughout the whole new urban agenda, including the Habitat 3 Convention in Quito. Now here lie the greatest opportunities for planning to nurture and support sustainable development. With London becoming the first megacity in Europe, the challenges this poses for for both the UK and the rest of Europe will not be solved from just a Western perspective. We can learn from colleagues abroad and look to the developing world for examples of how to cope with rapid change. Now, in 2 days' time, President Obama steps down. And they said that American presidents campaign in poetry but govern in prose. And I think Obama probably did a bit of both as president. But he's left a great canon of quotations. And one of them stands out for me, which I think is really relevant to our profession. And it's this: change will not come if we wait for some other persons or for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones we seek. Now, all planners at whatever stage of their training, experience, should reflect on that quote as defining our role in securing positive change in a complex world. Today, 70 years on from the 1947 Act, we face enormous challenges of climate change, pollution, a global housing crisis, poverty, a challenge of aspiration. These are global challenges requiring the response of planning and planners as a global profession. We must arise to address them, confident in our skills and expertise. This should be the hallmark of our civilization and our contribution